Well. About fucking time.
There are a lot of TV shows out there nowadays that are pretty dang good. In a series where every episode has a really cool scene, sometimes it gets hard to think about which is the best. Granted, this is just my opinion, but today I'm going to talk about my favorite scene from the 2019 series, The Boys. Based on the comic book of the same name, The Boys is a refreshing change of pace for the superhero genre, and it shows what it would be like if superheroes were kinda dicks. Season 1 has a lot of good scenes, but there can only be one best scene. And for me, that is one that comes at the very end of the season. It is the second to last scene, Billy's confrontation with Homelander.
Most people standing where you are be pissing their pants, terrified, but you... Sure, your heart's pounding, but you're not afraid.
At this point in the show, we learn that Billy hates Homelander for many reasons, with the main one being he probably raped his wife and killed her too. When Billy decides to go after Homelander himself, he learns of the Soup's one weakness, his boss, Madison Stillwell, with whom he has this weird, Oedipus thing going on with her. Billy goes to her home and straps explosives to her in hopes of Homelander showing up. The plan works out and Homelander arrives to save the day. Or so we think. At this point, we see a situation we've seen a million times before. The hero has a loved one in danger, and the villain with a tragic backstory needs to be stopped. In most superhero stories, this would end with Homelander finding a clever way to stop Billy and save the one he cares about. But this isn't a regular superhero story. Remember, in this story, Billy is our hero, and Homelander is the villain with a tragic backstory. We see the two fall into their roles a little better once Homelander starts monologuing much like a villain would, and Billy takes the heroic stance of just sitting there motionless listening. Homelander taunts Billy about his wife, and then he tries to take back his hero position by asking Billy about his demands and whatnot. But he does it with that classic Homelander entitlement. Like I said though, Homelander is the villain with a tragic backstory, and in this case, Billy knows nothing about it.
You think I'm responsible for her death, don't you? So now, you have a hostage that I care about.
Homelander approaches Stillwell and calls her out for always lying to him. And when she finally admits that she's only scared of him, he snaps. He snaps because he thought she was different. He thought she cared about him, but in reality, she only acted like that because she was afraid of him like everyone else. Once Homelander kills her, Billy decides that he's basically screwed either way, so he sets off the explosives. This scene is the best in this season because it is the biggest contrast to what we see in the superhero genre, but it still feels kind of familiar. Homelander learns that Billy is really the only person who isn't afraid of him, and in some ways, he sees him as an equal. Billy isn't this diabolical villain who wants to kill Homelander. All he wants to do is hurt him, like how Homelander did to him. At the same time, Billy learns there's a lot more to Homelander than just being an entitled jerk. It's a fantastic scene between two of the best characters in the show, and we learn more about them while they do too. The tension is high for the first half of the scene because we're anxious to see what happens, if Billy's gonna win, if Homelander's gonna win. And then it's tense in the second half because we fear for Billy's life. The acting is also great, especially with Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, absolutely kills it. Just like, Homelander actually. I love seeing these two characters together, and if season 2 has scenes like this, then it is going to be super.
How do you know? I mean, you must have some rock-solid proof, right? That it was actually me who killed your wife.
Thank you so much for watching. Are you excited for season 2 of The Boys? What did you think of season 1? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.